Hi, I'm Jim Tolles. I'm a spiritual teacher, and I blog regularly at spiritualawakeningprocess.com. Today I want to talk about holding onto your beliefs and blocking out the truth. It's a very common issue for the ego to want to believe that certain things are true and then blocking out reality. We see this all the time, in other people in particular, because it's always easier to see what other people are doing wrong than ourselves. And you'll see how someone is holding on to the idea that, oh, I'm in a good romantic relationship. You and all your friends know that the friend who's saying that is wrong, that this person is in a very bad relationship where the husband is always yelling and emotionally abusing this person, or is, maybe even physically assaulting this person. But the friend's belief is being held onto so strongly that she will not see the truth. We can see this in other aspects where somebody doesn't think they have a drug problem. And we can see that this person is causing pain to themselves and to the rest of their life. But they are holding on to the belief that they don't have a problem. And so they will not hear the truth. And this plays itself out again and again and again on the spiritual path. And I was just illuminating some very obvious ones that we can all already see. But there are so many more ways where we get caught up in believing something is to be true when it is not. The spiritual path takes us back towards reality. Reality is just the truth, in the same way that gravity is just the truth. Whether you like gravity existing or not, your belief in the matter does not matter. And this can run so counter to a lot of what people are talking about these days with the power of belief. Make no mistake about it that our minds are powerful tools, but they need to know their place. And usually what I've found in the spiritual path is we need to put the whole ideas around what we believe and the power of our belief on the back burner. We need to investigate the beliefs and the deeper pains that are usually hiding behind them, because that's skewing what we're even willing to accept as reality. That doesn't help us. That gets in the way of engaging with reality. If somebody has an alcohol problem, believing that they don't have a problem makes it impossible to deal with anything. And again, there are so many situations that will show up in life where somebody doesn't want to believe the reality. And some of them will be very obvious, but as you open up more, you'll realize there's a lot of different layers of illusion that people put onto situations. And if somebody puts enough layers of illusion, everything starts to feel rather impossible, because they've accepted so many different types of beliefs that don't allow for any other possibility. One of the things that I like to say about the ego is, like, if everything's starting to feel impossible, usually the ego's at work. We're very rarely in situations where we have so few options that it really is an impossible situation, that there's nothing good going to come out of it, or whatever we're concerned about, whatever way that we're viewing things as being impossible. Impossible in and of itself is kind of a wrong understanding, because in a universe this vast with so many infinite possibilities, how can we ever get to a point where there are no other possibilities? Maybe that's possible, I don't know. But in most situations, it's a complete lie. In most situations, the ego is just fabricated this confounding situation. And if we start to drop our beliefs, then suddenly, there's this opportunity, or there's that opportunity. We have to commit to wanting to know the truth, and we have to commit to wanting to illuminate our own beliefs and to let them go. And it doesn't matter, if it's a really small belief around, like, how your schedule should go, or if it's a bigger belief around not believing that you're worthy of love. Right? There's going to be all sorts of different layers of belief that get in the way, and they get in the way in different regards. So if you feel that you are unworthy of love, people can love you and you just can't accept it. And that's a really strange reality that you're living, that these people are actively being kind to you and wanting to help you and support you. And maybe some are even saying, I love you. And the ego that believes that it is not worthy of love, it cannot hear that. Sometimes it will even see that as a threat. And that has to do with other people's upbringings and how they were kind of indoctrinated with love. And really our upbringings are an indoctrination. We're being taught how to think about a lot of different things. this is why we end up in childhood stuff so much. And this is why I often say that one of the first and more important steps for people's spiritual paths is going towards a therapist or a counselor to help work on the level of the mind. They're very, very useful things. And I think right now they're given kind of a bad rap as being just a place that's going to prescribe you medication. I'm sure some people do that, but there's plenty who don't, who are going to work with you in a lot of different ways to help you understand yourself. As we go deeper and as we understand our minds, then certain aspects of the spiritual path and working with teachers like myself become more accessible because we can go deeper because the beliefs aren't in the way as much, or at least they're more present in a way that before they're just hiding in the background. Well, working with your mind and working with a therapist at times is a way to get those thoughts out in front where you can see them rather than the back of your head where they're kind of pulling the strings. As we learn to identify beliefs and let them go, we'll find deeper beliefs that we really don't want to let go of. And that's going to be kind of one of those turning points. We have these turning points on the spiritual path where it's a question of, are you ready to let go of this belief or not? If you're not, then you're done. This is where you stop. This is where you stop in your understanding of the truth because now you've held on to something that blocks your view. Sometimes I use the metaphor of walls, like being in this building we're deconstructing, and the building being the ego, and it's built up of a lot of different beliefs. And so anywhere there's a wall, you can't see. You're blind to what's beyond that. And it forces you to guess what might be on that. What's thumping on the wall over there? I don't know. Is that, a deer running its head into the wall? Is that somebody hammering on it? Is it somebody just knocking, somebody hanging a picture, right? What is that? We don't know. But if we remove the wall, then you start to say, oh, that's just my roommate or something like that. It's like, oh, that's my wife over there. Oh, that's a stranger that I need to get help because I don't belong in this house. But that's what our beliefs do. They blind us to the reality of like what our coworkers are like, or what our employees are like, or our bosses are like, what our loved ones are like, what our so-called enemies are actually like. Right? All these different things are skewed because we can't see them clearly because of a belief that says this is who this person is. This is who I am. And it's so elaborate and so complicated. We somehow kind of forget that we get so used to that complexity and we just think that's how it is. Phrases like that's how it is and this is who I am are usually said by people who have no idea what is reality or who they are. And if you ever say that, that should be a sign to yourself that you've got your ego at work. Because few people have really gone through the dissolving process to really know who they are. It's kind of a sad thing, but if you can realize that, if that's upsetting to you, all right, then maybe that's a trigger to start your inner work or to go to the next level. And going to the next level, you're just going towards reality. That's what the truth is. The truth is, as I said, like gravity. It's just there. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. And when you start to acknowledge that gravity is there, then you can engage with it. And if you want to fly a new mission to Mars, right, you can figure that out, understand that here's gravity, here's how it works, and this is how we have to address it because this is the reality we live in. Versus if you don't, then, you can kind of frustrate yourself because each time you try and jump or throw something up there, like it comes back down. And it's like, why does it keep coming back down? This happens all the time in all sorts of different situations where people are not acknowledging what the reality is. And sure, other human beings skew reality based off of their ego reactions, but we're always going to be kind of within that framework too. And we learn how to let go of our own skewing to see how people are going to engage and how their egos are interacting to appreciate that this is where they are and this is how you're going to have to deal with that. And that's not taking away autonomy. And it's not just saying that they're stuck there because if you can change or I can change, anyone can change. However, a lot of people won't want to. And so we honor that as well as we honor other realities that we live in. And that gets easier and easier the more you let go of your ego. Because I know some people's egos are listening like, well, how do I do all that? It's like, don't worry about the how yet. I'm just kind of building an understanding from like where we are and like where this starts to go, where you appreciate reality and you engage with reality rather than engaging with your beliefs and what they want reality to be. And so that actually makes things simpler. Ego complication is another one of those things and little signs that should say that something's going on here. If things are starting to get really complicated, Are they really complicated, or is ego at work? I can only encourage you to continue to investigate your beliefs, go deeper, understand what's really driving who you think you are and what you think the world is, what you think other people are, and keep letting them go. Open the mind, open your heart. Start to focus more on what is really going on in life. And of course, meditation, journaling, and a whole host of other tools that I mentioned, breath work as well, yoga, are really helpful. So these are some thoughts for today. Once again, my name is Jim Tolles, and you can find more of my thoughts on this channel, as well as at spiritualawakeningprocess.com. Have a beautiful day.